Hello, beautiful mom leaders. Welcome back to Conscious Champagne Chat number 73. I'm pretty sure I started miscounting on these. There's so many. Doesn't really matter. I'm just doing the numbers so I can hopefully somehow stay close and on track. You know, my goal is to do 100 of them. So hello, beautiful soul. If you're new to our world, hello, hello, hello. My name is Marlis and I go live about 3 times, 2 times, 3 times a week with Conscious Champagne Chats, where I share everything around you becoming a better mom version of yourself and becoming a better mom leader, and really giving you a little bit of a human manual on how to do motherhood, and especially working motherhood and business the easy way. And today I have a very interesting topic for you, which is about the one thing that changed everything. And there's actually a book that is called The One Thing That Changed Everything. And this, if you don't have this book, you need to go and get this book. It's super, super amazing. It's beautiful stories of 20 women who really took a 360-degree turn in their lives. And my beautiful mentor, Sarah Longoria, she initiated that. And actually my story is in here as well. Now, I think it's like 99 cents or something like that on Amazon. I don't even know. And we're not making any money out of this because all the proceeds actually go to a nonprofit organization that is really working very hard to prevent children's sex trafficking. So, 99 cents, not a big deal. But, the reason I'm pulling this out is because I really want to talk today and share with you what is the one thing that changed everything for me. And I'm not going to go into full detail. So if you want to have the full story, it's actually in here. And, together with 19 super powerful stories from really, really, really amazing women that are changing the world, that are building, human empires that are actually good for humanity and not exploit our world, so to speak. So the one thing that changed everything, for those of you who don't know my story, and some of you might know my story, some of you might know parts of it, it doesn't really matter. But, honestly, I feel like I followed the protocol. I pretty much did what I was told. Hey, beautiful people. I was told what to do. I worked hard in school. I was a good girl. I scored with really good grades. And if you really, I want you to think about this, right? When your kids having good grades and you're like super proud. So I was one of those, I wasn't like a super straight A student, but I was good enough for me to get myself into the University of Cambridge, which, is one of the allied universities in the entire world. And so I followed the protocol, you guys. I did everything. They tell us what we need to do. Be good at school, work hard, be disciplined, go out there, and then you're going to be successful and you're going to be happy. And so I did all that, right? I went out, I studied biotechnology, then I did my PhD in psychiatric disorders, finding biomarkers. This is actually the first time I got around getting to know neuropeptides in our nervous system and how everything actually works in the human, and for some people doesn't work quite as it's supposed to do. And then during my, I found the love of my life. I married my college sweetheart. We got married during our PhDs. We both actually did our PhDs in Cambridge, and then I got pregnant right away. We had our first baby. We bought our first house. We graduated, and we all did that pretty much in like 1 year. And, we both landed a 6-figure income job coming out of university. And, it was like ticking the boxes. I ticked all the boxes. If you go according to the book, I ticked all the boxes. There was no reason for me to be unhappy. There was no reason at all for me to complain. My kids are healthy. There's not even like any big major family issues or anything going on. I really did not have a reason to complain. But when my second daughter was born, and she was about 2 years, I want to say, I found myself not liking my life so much. Because, well, I didn't even know. I didn't know back then. All I knew was I didn't like it, and I felt terrible because, according to the books, I was not supposed to have a reason to feel terrible because I had it all. I had all the things that so many people dream about, but I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it. I wasn't happy. In fact, the longer I was in this juggling motherhood and work and a happy marriage and everything, the more I got depressed, the more I got angry, and I hated myself. That's probably the best way to say it. I really hated myself. I didn't like myself. I got up in the morning. I already felt irritated and terrible, and I was super pissed with everything. And I just somehow made it through the day, keeping up the mask and the smile through my corporate job. And then when I came home, I would lose it. I would blow at my kids. And I didn't like it, And I thought, and it's kind of ironic because if you think about it, if you think, this is what we want. We want our happily ever after, right? We want the man of our dreams. We want kids. And we glorify this whole thing about motherhood and marriage and before we get in there. And then reality hits us. And none of that somehow came to life. And it's ooh, this is actually very different. And what started was I started to feel things like I didn't like myself. There were moments I really did not like my kids either. But we're not supposed to say that. Because as a mom, the expectation is to love it all. But I didn't. I really did not love it all. There were a lot of things I didn't like. But I didn't dare to say it. I didn't dare to speak them out loud because of the judgment, because of the looks, because of the expectations. And as a high achiever, I kept doing more and more and more and more and more because I thought I need to get better. I need to be more productive. I need to be more efficient. I'm not good enough. I need to get better. And so I just kept putting on things onto my plate. And I kept pushing my human more and more to get better and better. And what happened was I just pushed myself to a way where actually the better I got, and I did, in some things, the more I didn't like myself. The more I struggled with being a good mom, the more I struggled in my marriage, the more I resented my job. And so I knew I had to change something because things at home got really, really, really terrible. And I don't want to go into details of that, but they got totally out of control. And those were my moments when I realized you need to go and fix yourself. You need to do something. So I went out and I started looking for what is out there in the world. And the first thing you do is you go and see a counselor. You go and see a therapist. And they told me, of course you're stressed. You're stressed. You're just stressed. And I'm like, yes, but no, that's not it. So I went to the counselor. I did a lot of yoga, you guys. I did all the tips around, you need to breathe, you need to be more mindful, you need to meditate. And I tried to incorporate that all into my day. But quite frankly, there's no time to build in yoga and meditation and hypnosis and going to your counselor and doing, acupuncture I was doing at some point as well. There was no time for me to do that. I needed something that was way more efficient, way more quicker that I could implement. And the other thing that I did is I entered a personal development world, which I can tell you is all about positive thinking. And that's not the one thing that changed my life. In fact, I personally do believe positive thinking can be very toxic if you apply it at the wrong time of your humanity. Because positive thinking doesn't work if you try to fix your negative thoughts. Positive thinking is really good if you already feel fantastic and you kind of amplify your positive thinking. But if you feel terrible, if you feel the negative emotions that you're not supposed to feel, and you try to get rid of them by positive thinking, like, don't let this get to you. I try to let it go. I try to ignore it. That's actually when you are causing damage to yourself. That's when you're causing damage. Because all of us have been trained that it is okay to have good emotions. And we all love people when they're positive, right? And when they're all happy and chappy and they bring out a good vibe in us. And we feel really uncomfortable when we have a negative emotion or somebody around us has a negative emotion because we don't know how to deal with it. No one has ever taught us how to deal with them. So what have we been taught? We've been taught to talk ourselves out of the negative emotion. We've been taught to let it go. Let it go. Drop it. But what I learned, is actually counterproductive because the emotion isn't going anywhere. It isn't going anywhere. It's stored inside of your body. And every time you have an emotion coming up you don't like, and you tell yourself, let it go, come on, don't get stressed by, the mean person behind the counter or whatever. Don't let it suck you in. And it's okay if you don't actually do it in that moment, but then you need to find time to let it out and relive the emotion. If you tell yourself, let it go, it's not worth it, that emotion didn't go anywhere, my friends. That emotion went right in here. And you and I and all the beautiful humans on this planet have been doing that since forever. If you're 35 years old, that's how long you've been stuffing your emotions. So, no wonder our life feels heavy. Our life feels like a struggle, feels like a burden, like everything is just annoying and it's a hassle. Because your emotions, my friend, as I've been telling you over and over, are what actually are running the show. It's not the positive thinking. And so when I went on this beautiful personal development journey, I wandered around for about 2 or 3 years. And things got better, don't get me wrong. They got better. But they wouldn't stick with me. And I still felt like it was a juggle and a struggle. And it's like I don't have time and I have to pull myself here. And then my boss wants something and it's annoying. And then my kids are annoying and blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to have an easy way to handle all this. And that's when, my previous beautiful mentor, Sarah Longoria, was put into my life. And she introduced me to a way that helps you clear all those stuck, unprocessed emotions that are sitting inside of your body. And when I started applying that technique and refined it further, oh my God, you guys, oh my God. It's like somebody takes literally off the curtain that was in front of your eyes all the time, and you once a sudden can see clearly. The emotions that live inside of you are the ones that make things hard in your life, that don't allow you to see that things can be done a completely different way. And so when you start to get rid of those emotions that hold you back from the person you actually want to be and from the way you want to show up, then things shift completely, not just for you, but also for the relationships in your life. Because you are showing up way lighter, way more energized, way freer. And when you're free and energized, you can actually guide other people. And you can be a role model for others as well. And you can just be that version you want to be. When I started clearing all that emotional gunk, you guys, first of all, I cleared my anger. 35 years of deep-seated anger. My relationships to my kids changed dramatically. There were no more these things of like punishment and consequences. And I tried all these positive parenting stuff as well, but that's a problem. A lot of that is also built up on positive thinking. It doesn't work. It doesn't work because that's not how your human is wired. So the one thing that really changes everything is to go and decipher your emotional code. Every one of us has a unique emotional code, your unique emotional blueprint. And if you don't know what your emotional blueprint is, you will not know how to change things for the better. And that's the work we do. That's the work we take our clients through. We help them see the things they can't see right now. Right? Remember in the last Conscious Champagne chat, I talked a lot about the pet peeves. Pay attention to the pet peeves. The pet peeves are a beautiful sign for you to understand what's really underneath and what you need to go and clear out of your system. Only that way you can show up in a better way. You will find peace for yourself. You actually become a whole human. You start integrating your soul with your physical human part. They merge. And when you do that, you become unstoppable in anything you want to do. It's absolutely beautiful because it feels aligned. You are aligned. When you feel like torn in different directions, when you don't know, when you can't decide and it just feels too tough, that's because you're not aligned. It's because you've completely disconnected with yourself. And the reason we're disconnected with ourselves is because we have all that emotional gunk. So we need to get it out. We need to get it out, my friends. We need to get it out. Because when you change that, the neuropeptides that your nervous system sends out will change as well. And there's tons of studies that show how these neuropeptides manifest diseases. People who have more positive emotions, they have a different set of peptides that is being transmitted through their body. Versus people who actually, for example, have a lot of issues and have health issues. If there is an issue, I can tell you, there's an underlying emotion you need to go and look at. Always, always. And it isn't until you've cleared that emotion that you can see the solution for the issue. The solution that works for you. That's why when people always come to me and say, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? It's not about the how. You need to find out what's at the core, what's preventing you from going to solve that issue. And then the how will come because you're aligned. Don't ask for the how. That's not going to help you. Figure out what is underneath that you can't go, that prevents you from solving the issue. So, if you want more of it, you can look it up here in the one thing that changed everything. There's a lot more detail in here, obviously. But as a reminder, really, really pay attention to your emotions, especially the one we deem to call negatives. Do not let them pass. Learn to fully feel them and clear them out. And if you want to know how to do that, so you can up-level yourself and you can move to the next big thing that you want to do and get what you want, but you're scared to go and get it, that's where you go and talk to us so we can help you. All right, my beautiful friends, I'll be seeing you around. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.